You guys know the drill at this point. One PlayStation Store sale ends, open the door for another one to begin. Yes, while the retro and remaster sale has ended, now we have the PlayStation Store's Big in Japan sale. Save up to 70% on the PlayStation Store's biggest Japanese titles, and a lot of high quality games are discounted. I'm not even gonna meme on you guys. Yes, the sales are becoming a little bit abundant. However, it's great deals on great games, so is there really a lot of reason to complain? I don't think so. So without further ado, let's get right into it and let's go over the best deals available as a part of this sale. We'll give you guys a brief overview of every game, or the games that really stand out to me, and maybe down the line we'll do another in-depth video on highlighting some of the best deals. But we've got 428 Shibuya Scramble. That is 80% off for $9.99. That is a ridiculous deal on Shibuya Scramble, a game that has held up in price for quite a while. Obviously, this is a more narrative-driven, visual novel style of game, so it might not be up everyone's alley. However, it does have a very interesting story, and from that standpoint, if you're into games like that, I would definitely give it a recommendation, especially at this price point. That initial $50 price point may have been a little bit high, but at $9.99, much more palatable. Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown is 50% off for $29.99. Ace Combat 7 is a game that has held up in price quite highly. It came out right around the time as Resident Evil 2 and Kingdom Hearts 3, a little bit before, and if you look at the other two aforementioned games, RE2 and Kingdom Hearts 3 both regularly go on sale for under $30. Ace Combat 7 is chilling here still at $30. It's a game that is worth it. I think Ace Combat 7 was one of the more underrated games of 2019. Some great action-oriented gameplay here. Fantastic music. Yes, the narrative goes a little bit off the rails, but I don't think anyone's really getting into Ace Combat for a compelling story, and even that, the story is there, and it's something that while you're not going to get super invested into, it's definitely there, and for $30, I do think Ace Combat 7 is a pretty good buy. Ace Combat 7 Unknown, a deluxe edition, is also down to $42.49. I should say Unknown Skies. That's $42.49, so you can also check that out if you want some additional content. Aegis of Earth Proton Vis Assault is down to $11.99. Not a bad deal on that. AI the Somnium Files, 40% off for $36. Really good game. I don't know if at this point you should just wait a little bit longer for it to see a steeper discount. I think for $36, AI the Somnium Files is very much worth it. If you enjoy games like Danganronpa and some of the other Spike Chunsoft games, AI the Somnium Files will be right up your alley. A little bit light on the gameplay, but that is to be expected with games like this. But from a narrative standpoint, very, very strong, so I would highly recommend that. It's a really good game, very good story, very good character development, and from that standpoint, it is a home run. I just don't know if it's going to be up everyone's alley, but you probably can ascertain whether or not you would enjoy that game if you've enjoyed some of the other games that I've mentioned. A lot of the Atelier titles are discounted, just about every one of them by the looks of it. Even Ever Darkness and the Secret Hideout is discounted. They're all relatively expensive, so just bear that in mind. However, if you are interested, you can check that out. Blaze Blue games are discounted. Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle Special Edition is down to $40. The expansion is down to $20. Central Fiction is down to $18. And Cross Tag Battle, the base game, is down to $16. Central Fiction for $18 isn't bad, and Cross Tag Battle, the base game, for $16 isn't bad either, so might be worth a buy if you guys are into fighting games. Crystar 4 is discounted as well as a bunch of the additional content. Code Realize is discounted. Danganronpa 1 and 2 Reload, a game that I always go to bat for. Danganronpa 1 and 2 are phenomenal games. Of course, as is to be expected out of a Spike Chunsoft narrative-driven game, light on the gameplay, just like AI the Somnium Files. However, the storytelling in these games are phenomenal. It might sound a little bit zany, a little bit hokey from the get-go, especially when you see some of the presentation elements if you're not familiar with these styles of games, but give it half an hour to an hour on Danganronpa 1 and I guarantee you the game is going to hook you, and it is an absolute thrill ride. And Danganronpa 1 was awesome. I would argue that Danganronpa 2 is an even better game, and after you finish Danganronpa 1, you're going to be like, how is that even possible? But Danganronpa 2 gets even crazier, and $20 for both of those games is a steal. I should also add Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony is on sale. That is 60% off for $23.99. I didn't think Danganronpa 3 was as strong as 1 and 2. It's a great game in its own right. Some of the storytelling elements I don't think were as strong as the first two games, but if you enjoyed Danganronpa 1 and 2, V3 is definitely going to be worth your money. But just if you're getting into the franchise, start off with Danganronpa 1 and 2, and then you can work your way to V3 as well. You'll probably enjoy the first two games so much that you'll end up getting the third. And the first two games are relatively lengthy. Even if you rush through the games, they're still going to take you 15 to 20 hours, and if you take your time, talk to everyone, read the dialogue, and try to assess everything in the world and read all the dialogue again, they are relatively lengthy games for visual novels, so I would highly, highly recommend those titles. Dark Souls 3 down to $14.99. If you don't have Dark Souls 3, I don't really know what to say. I feel like the majority of you guys probably own this game, but if you don't, it's a great game. I think it's the strongest of the Dark Souls franchise. Maybe that's a little bit of an unpopular opinion, but I don't think it's quite as good as Bloodborne. But now we're talking very, very high quality games. Dark Souls 3 is really good, and the deluxe edition can be had for a little bit more at $21.24. Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition content is discounted. That's just the DLC. It looks like the game itself isn't discounted, although it might be on sale as a part of the other sale. Digimon Story Cybersleuth Hacker's Memory is down to $14.99. I really enjoyed that game. Not quite gonna have the notoriety of a Pokemon title. However, I think Digimon has a lot of opportunity to increase its popularity from a video game front, and I think with Digimon Survive, that might be a very popular game. However, Digimon Story Cybersleuth is quite good, and I would give it a recommendation, especially at 75% off for $15. Is definitely the perfect price to pick the game up for. Disgaea 1 Complete is down to $24.99. Not a bad buy on that. Disgaea 4 Complete is down to $34.99. Kind of pricey on that, although that is a little bit more recent of a release. You've also got the Disgaea 5 Complete Bundle. That is down to $19.99, so that's a good buy. And then Disgaea 5, the base game, is down to $14.99. Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 is down to $11.99. Not a bad buy on that. And Dragon Ball Xenoverse is quite good. If you're not a fan of the technical fighter that is a Dragon Ball FighterZ, Xenoverse is definitely going to be more up your alley as more of an arcade fighter. It's definitely an enjoyable game. A lot of extra content on that game, so even if you get the base game at $11.99, if you really want everything, that is going to take you back a pretty penny. Dragon Quest Builders 1, $29.99. Builders 2, $35.99. I would just pick up Builders 2. That is definitely the superior game at $36 for that. Isn't all too bad, given that I believe it came out back in July of last year, so all things considered, it's a relatively recent release. Still kind of pricey, but pretty good deal nonetheless. Dragon Quest 11, on the other hand, Digital Edition of Light is down to $29.99. Awesome JRPG. If you're a fan of the traditional style of JRPGs, just a turn-based JRPG with fundamental quality content, Dragon Quest 11 will be right up your alley. It doesn't try to reinvent the wheel in any way. However, the turn-based combat that is presented is pretty good, and for $30, I do think that is a great buy. A lot of Dynasty Warriors 9 stuff is on sale. Earth Defense Force 4.1 stuff is on sale. EDF 5 is down to $29.99. A lot of Final Fantasy stuff on sale as well. Final Fantasy 9 Digital Edition, $10.49. That's pretty decent. Final Fantasy Type 0 HD, $9.99. That's a game a lot of people picked up back in, what was it, 2015, just because it came with the Final Fantasy 15 episode Disgaea demo. I know that I initially picked up Type 0 HD because of that, but Type 0 HD is a pretty good game in its own right. However, do bear in mind, it was originally a PlayStation portable game, and Square Enix really baited us into getting that, charging $59.99 for a PSP game just because everybody wanted to play episode Disgaea. But the game itself is pretty decent at a $9.99 price point, definitely a little bit more palatable. Final Fantasy 7 is down to $7.99. You guys know what I'm going to say about this. Wait until the remake. I think that's the route to go. FF8 Remastered down to $12. FF10 and 10-2 down to $12.49. That's pretty good. And Final Fantasy 12 The Zodiac Age is down to $24.99 as well. This one seemingly had its price like artificially increased just because when the game released on Xbox One and Nintendo Switch, I guess Square Enix wanted to keep parity across all versions of this game, and now it's priced at $25 around just about every platform. So that's a little bit of a bummer, but I really enjoyed FF12. I think it's one of the more underrated Final Fantasy games, and even for $25, you're getting a relatively lengthy game there, especially if you're trying to do everything. A lot of Final Fantasy 15 content on sale as well, including the Royal Edition, which is down to $17.49. Pretty good deal on that, given you get FF15, a bunch of updates, a bunch of DLC as well. You don't get Episode Arden, which is a little bit of a bummer, but that is available for $2.49, so you can check that out as well. Fire Pro Wrestling World down to $14.99. That's actually a pretty good wrestling game, and considering WWE 2K20 was atrocious, if you want something with a little bit more of a technical nuance, Fire Pro Wrestling World is an interesting title, and then they do have a lot of DLC for that game as well. A lot of other deals are available. God Eater 3 is on sale. God Eater 2 as well. I should also note that Code Vein is on sale. I believe that is $36. I accidentally actually glossed over that. Yeah, $36 for Code Vein, so that's not bad either. I really enjoyed Code Vein. I don't think think it's quite on the level of the Souls titles like it often got compared to, but I did think it was a pretty good game in its own right. A lot of Naruto stuff on sale as well. Ultimate Ninja Storm Legacy, the trilogy. I would get Legacy. That's $21 if you're really trying to get into Storm and get all of the content that includes Storms 1 through 3, and you get Storm 4, and I do believe you get the Boruto DLC with it. Yeah, Road to Boruto. And they're selling that separately for $15, which is kind of crazy. Legacy is $21, and they're also selling the trilogy for $20, so Legacy is $1 more than the trilogy, and you get Storm 4 and Road to Boruto, which is the most expensive part of the puzzle. Figure that one out. I think they just want everyone to get the Legacy collection, so do check that out. Ni no Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom, $20.39, really good on that. Nier Automata Game of the Yorha Edition, $19.99. You guys know how I feel about that game. An awesome game. Most people will agree that it's an awesome game, so you should definitely check it out. Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, $14.99. Really good deal on that. Steins Gate Zero, $11.99 on that. That's really good. But you definitely want to play Steins Gate Elite first. That's down to $24. Ideally, you would want the base Steins Gate game, but hey, Steins Gate Elite will suffice, and you've got some anime cutscenes in there as well, so that's quite good. Tales of Berseria down to $14.99. That's an awesome price for Tales of Berseria. Great JRPG, much like the fundamental Tales of games. However, the narrative is incredibly strong in that title. The character development really good, and for $15, I think that's a really good buy. Trails of Cold Steel 1 down to $24. Trails of Cold Steel 2 down to $28. Those games have been holding up in price, so to see them discounted a little bit on the PlayStation Store, that is definitely appreciated. Tokyo Xanadu EX Plus, $12 for that. That's an 80% discount, so that's really good. Valkyria Chronicles 4 Complete Edition, $17.49. However, if you want to get Valkyria Chronicles 1 and 4, they have a bundle for $17.99. That is a great deal and possibly one of the best deals in this entire sale. Ys 8 Lacrimosa of Dana is down to $30. That's really good. Great JRPG there that had some issues initially, but a lot of the stuff has been remedied. Zero Escape, a Zero Time Dilemma, $11.99. Zero Escape, the known area games, $14.99. If you want something more like Danganronpa, those games will be right up your alley. Zonky Zero Last Beginning is $17.99. Pretty interesting Japanese RPG with a lot of cool elements. Not a perfect game, but definitely one that at this price point, it's worth a buy. Then there's also Dragon Quest Heroes 2 Explorers Edition down to $30. So a lot of good stuff on sale as a part of this sale. If you're into Japanese games, definitely give a lot of these titles a look. I believe Kingdom Hearts is also on sale. I might have glossed over that, like I said. Kind of going through this off the cuff. I haven't had a chance to sit down and really ascertain all of the prices. That might come down the line in a future video, and I do see the all-in-one package for $30, so that includes everything outside of the Remind DLC. That might be something to check out. So that's going to conclude this video. Yes, another PSN sale, but hey, it's a great time to be picking up games and adding to your backlog. Just make sure you're not overflowing your backlog, because that always becomes relatively a first world problem. That's going to conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.